What's happening, weirdos? Always a delight to sit down with the hilarious Nick Thune, who has a new special produced by Nate Bargatze and Nateland Entertainment on YouTube right now. It's called Born Young. It is hilarious. You need to check it out. It's very, very good. It's also clean, which is fun. What a fun one. I'm also on the road. I'm touring currently. Go to PeteHolmes.com for tickets. This is the PG-13 tour. Not quite clean, but sort of clean. A mostly clean comedy tour, so not filthy, was what I like to say. Let's see. If you hear this the week it comes out, this Saturday, I'll be at the Paramount Theater in Austin. Following up with that, we'll have Toronto, Los Angeles, Nashville, Irvine, California, San Jose, California, Houston, Royal Oak, Michigan, Washington, D.C., and Boston, Massachusetts. We just added a second show for Boston, which is awesome. So come see me in Boston in August. All of those are on PeteHolmes.com. Hope you can be there. In the meantime, enjoy this chat with the wonderful Nick Thune, and do check out his new special, Born Young, on YouTube.com right now. All right, get into it.
You could have brought it up to me when I walked in, and we could have talked about it the whole way here.
There's a step,
and I still would have tripped on it.
Oh, you think so? Are you a clumsy?
No, I just don't look where I'm walking. It seems beneath me.
How did you do that?
I don't know.
Were we rolling on that? How did you do that?
I don't know. It just happened.
How did you do that? You wrote a perfect Nick Thune joke. Fresh.
I want to actually remember that for sure.
You need, well, yes, because everyone's going to be commenting it over this clip. In the first 5 seconds.
It's too late. I can't do it on TV now. It's already been.
No, I disagree. Clip, still good.
Clips are good. Yeah,
you're okay.
No, I would take 6 clips over one television appearance.
Like 6 viral clips?
6 viral clips over one hot TV spot.
Well, you only do a TV spot now to clip it.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying?
Also for the thrill of it.
Also the fun of it. Two grown men with muscles opening a curtain for you. I never knew that was my thing. A couple hard body, real men.
People don't use hard body.
They smell like cigarettes and... You know what I mean?
Union guys?
Yeah. Fucking tough as nails.
Yeah.
People don't use hard body.
I love hard body. I really do.
I love hard body. You mean for men and women?
Yeah. I mean, I like it more for men. I think I just remember when I worked at a Subaru dealership. I worked at a Subaru dealership.
Really?
Yeah, I guess 2 weeks ago.
In the Outback?
No,
Sorry, you made a joke and I was just making my dumb Outback joke.
No, in the Forester.
We're going too fast. We're going to sync up.
Yeah,
we're going to sync up.
We are.
Because I've forgotten how hilarious and quick you are, so I should just relax.
No, we are.
I'm used to peppering in.
But I just remember some guy, I washed cars at this, I eventually sold cars there, but I washed cars
I didn't know that.
Very brief.
Wow.
Senior year of high school.
What?
I quit because of AIDS.
What?
Quit.
Because of AIDS?
Yeah.
Nobody quits selling cars because of HIV.
No, you're right. And that was part of the problem. Because what had happened was I did have an STD. I don't remember what it was.
It wasn't.
It was. I do remember. It was chlamydia.
You had chlamydia?
Yeah, when I was 17. Who knows how I got it?
From sex?
Yeah, most likely.
Mostly. And also some swashbuckling, but mostly sex gave me chlamydia.
And I had to get a blood test. And they didn't, at the time, this is 1997. No one really knew all the information
about HIV.
Yeah. And, they were like, we'll get back to you in a few days with your HIV test. And so I took, I hadn't been acting much yet, but I took that feeling with me of not knowing if I had HIV or not into the office of the owner of the Subaru dealership and sat down and broke into tears and said that I couldn't work there anymore because I had HIV.
Wait, is this real?
Yes.
Why did you do that?
Because I didn't want to work there anymore. And I was so dumb that I thought it would really They would
Drum up some pathos.
They would not let me. They would be like, "No, you're doing this. This is good for you." You know, like they're salesmen. They don't let you out of a deal. Like they keep you in. And HIV felt like the only way out of that deal.
Wait, you felt trapped at the Subaru dealership.
Yeah, I was a senior in high school.
But you were about to graduate.
It was like a novelty
thing. It would have ended
thing.
itself.
No, I would have had to work there all summer, and I wasn't going to go to college. I probably would have had to go on from there. And
you'd still be slinging subs.
I know. Well, the problem is my dad's the one that got me the job there because he worked in the car business, and I didn't really think that through. So,
like, you really would have been stuck. You mean?
Well, yeah, but also, my dad's going to hear about it. Like that night at dinner, I remember the phone. Somebody called. My dad answered it, and it was such a quick, no, okay, thank you. He sits down and he says, "Hey, Nick, did you tell Ron Swanson or whatever his name is that you have AIDS?" Yeah. Well, no, I said HIV, which
autoimmune deficiency known as AIDS.
Well, you don't get there, maybe, you know.
But your dad didn't even for a flutter think maybe my son has HIV?
No, because he knew that I was a lying bastard. He knew.
He went to liar immediately?
Well, yeah, because the type of lies that I pulled off, like I stole hair dye.
What color?
Blonde, like bleach. And that day, stole it, went to a friend's house, dyed my hair, went home, went to my math tutor, which was living next door. She got a call, another call from my dad. Hey, okay, we'll have him outside. She goes, "Your parents are going to pick you up out front." I thought, well, that's weird because I just live right in the backyard. I go up front. I get in the car. They're not talking. I'm just sitting in the back. And
with bleach blonde hair?
Yeah. And I'm thinking, something's not right here. We start getting closer to the grocery store, and I think, okay, this is a store I stole the hair dye from. So we walk in. They still haven't mentioned it to me. They're just like, they're letting me sit in it in the back. And we go in, and the clerk, we meet the manager. They take us to the hair dye aisle, and he goes, "It's this one." He grabs it, and he goes up, and he rings it up, and he goes, "Yeah, no one's bought this for 2 weeks. This is the one you say you dyed your hair with." Because I said, "No, I bought it." You know, like I would like.
But this sounds like theater. Like, you think he was checking the database?
He did check. That's what he said. Yeah.
I feel like that was fake.
I'm sure it was.
I think they were entrapment. I think we have a case.
I said, is there a chance that it's not in there? And he said, "It is highly unlikely." And I said,
okay,
there
this
it
makes
is.
me think.
There it is.
Yeah.
When you're saying there's a chance.
So you're saying there's a chance.
And I left, and I don't think until my mid-20s I finally said to my parents, I did steal that hair dye.
Wow.
I stuck to it.
I have a question. Why didn't you buy it?
Because of the thrill.
The thrill?
Yeah.
You were taking a Winona Ryder.
I was a thief.
A scoundrel.
I would steal, like the little chromies off cars. That was a big one.
The hood ornaments?
I did take a couple hood ornaments. Those are not easy to take, by the way.
No, those are on there.
Not only are they on there, but the older ones, especially the Mercedes, they've got a really like a steel string coming up to it that you really have to like. It's not easy to get them off
because they knew. Aren't we asking for vandalism? And Dr. Mercedes was like, "Put a string."
But also, why? Why would they think that?
I mean,
they're monsters out there.
I want to know: did the first generation of Mercedes that had the hood? I bet it was second, third generation. They were like, "We need to fix this." You know what I'm saying?
Yeah. Do they still have them up there like that?
The string, you mean?
Yeah. Do they still have like the ones that pop out of the?
Oh, I don't know.
They're now like flush
they're
with
flush.
Yeah.
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 You don't want that anymore.
No. But no, the chromies are the things on the air parts of the tires. If those were chrome, it was, true. The story was if you took
the tail would go.
Yeah. If you took them into a pawn shop, they were worth about $4 a pop.
The little on the tire air gauge.
If they were chrome.
Oh, wow.
Which the nicer cars had. And
I don't like it.
Well, no, it's also just evidence of stealing. And then, a friend of mine got caught, told his parents I'm the one that taught him how to do it. And my parents didn't have to look too deep into the house to find a baggie full of chromies.
You had enough for a baggie.
Yeah.
You know what I don't like about it is it's just so annoying. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
It's like a mosquito crime. It's annoying.
the exhilaration,
the thrill.
Exhilar-
No, let me join you instead of judging you. I'm just saying, like, for some reason, I specifically have a thing on because I lose them. Like, they roll under the car, they're gone.
Oh, yeah.
Now you're like, am I leaking air? I don't think so. It seems to be fine. But anyway, my tactic I'd go into the corner store in Lexington Lexington Center, and one of us, usually me.
In New York?
No. Good. Yeah, they're Lexington Avenue. No, Lexington, the town. I would go in and I would hide the Game Pro magazines because the nudie mags were behind the counter. Kind of barely.
Yeah.
Almost to the side.
They wanted you to think you could touch them.
They wanted them to be close enough to touch. And you could just kind of duck in and browse them.
Yeah.
But, you're right with the guy who rings them up. Anyway, so I would hide Game Pro. That was always Game Pro. I'd put Game Pro behind a big magazine.
Which was like the Nintendo, here's some new codes.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
It's like a Nintendo Power, but for all the systems. Then I'd go up and say, do you have Game Pro magazine? Knowing it's not there. He'd come from behind the counter, would look for Game Pro. My man Opie, that's his real name, would circle in, grab a Playboy, and run out. And it worked. Well, we only did it once, but it worked.
Yeah. That's a good move.
It worked every time. Yeah, it is. It has a flair of thoughtfulness. We got to get this guy out, and we need him out for at least 30 seconds.
The nice thing is you're never touching the Playboy.
I'm also clean.
So you're in the store.
But then I bet
do you guys walk in as friends?
No. He never even saw Opie.
Never met this guy before.
I don't know this guy. Second, I bet, though, the part that I blew, that I'm under reporting, is after he goes, oh, here it is. It's behind Better Homes and Gardens for some reason. I didn't buy it. Like a real slick criminal would have bought it.
Yeah.
Oh, good. One Game Pro. And then a really slick criminal
would have left extra money.
Would have bought it and then left without it and like dropped it on the way out. Like, because we did try.
Yeah.
Sorry, Nick Thune. I don't mean to steamroll here. The first thing we did was I went in and said, "Will you sell me a Playboy?" And he said no. And he went, "They make your eyes crossed." That's what he said.
Really?
They'll make your eyes crossed. And I was like, I was so humorless about it. I hated that he did a bit. I was like, please, I don't want to shoplift.
Is that a Christian thing? They make your eyes crossed, or is that just a?
I feel like, well, this must have been like, I'm in fifth grade. It's the 80s. So it might have been something that was popular in the 60s. Like, they'll make your eyes cross. Like, your hair, palms get hairy. It's like in the same family of myths.
That's not true, is it?
If it were true, I'd be a Sasquatch. So keep going. What were you were going to say? It reminded you of something.
Oh, no. Well, the partner, the kids... I would steal chewing tobacco, and the way we would do
accomplice.
Because they used to keep chewing tobacco just out on one of the aisles. There was like a dispenser for them all, and a friend would get it and go.
Pucks.
Yeah.
Yeah.
He would get it and walk it down that aisle, and then put it on top of a specific dog food, and then he would walk out the store, and then I would go down and pull it off the dog food, put it in my pocket, and exit a different way. Thinking there's no way we can get caught for this.
Because it doesn't look like you were even near what is the thing you would be shoplifting.
And then the guy that was, I don't have anything on me.
Yeah.
We got caught.
Clever. We got caught?
Yeah, we got caught because it was like next to a mall, and we were in the mall, and they came, the security was part of the mall and the grocery store. They came and found us, and they go, we don't know how to prove it, but we know that you did it.
They showed your cards, their cards.
Yeah.
We can't prove it, so don't deny it because you'll get away.
Yeah, you're banned, basically. We're just
they
banning
banned you.
Yeah, they just said you're banned from the store.
I got stopped in the CVS in Lexington Center, and he said, empty your pockets. And I had been shoplifting from that store, but not that day. And I emptied my pockets, and there was nothing in there. But there was like a weird, I'll never forget, like a Tweety Bird crayon. It didn't have Tweety Bird on the wrapper. It was shaped like Tweety Bird, and then it had like a crayon sticking out. It was like, I remember thinking, this is so embarrassing. Like, I have like a child's crayon in my
Yeah.
And another time we narked on a kid.
Do you remember why you had it?
No, I think I got it at church.
Probably Red Robin.
Might have been a Red Robin. Like, I'm just on the cusp where placemats are still kind of fun, but I'm also thieving.
Yeah.
I also narked on a kid that I saw stealing once, and me and my friend, it was almost to make up for it, For the thieving we had done, we told a cop. And I remember the cop, we were like, there's a kid in there shoplifting. And the cop was kind of like, all right. Like, knowing now, that's not a big bust for him.
No.
But he's like, I'm going to scare a kid straight.
Also, if another kid is telling on a kid, it's just like...
It's loaded.
Yeah.
I don't like it.
No. And it's also like, what are you trying to get away with? Because it does seem like you're up to something.
I'm definitely up to something. There's some kid beef.
What would you have shoplifted at CVS?
That's a great question.
Baseball cards, maybe?
I don't remember what we were stealing at CVS. I remember wanting to shoplift a Teen Beat magazine because I loved all those bands, but I was too embarrassed to buy one because they were girl magazines. But I wanted to see what Joey McIntyre had on the tour bus.
Yeah?
And the times that I did read a Teen Beat magazine, see, I was always, were you this way? I feel like you might have been. I always wanted to be hanging with the girls. I wanted to read the girl magazines. I wanted to gossip, wanted to joke around, collect stickers. I wasn't like, the boys all smelled like farts.
I didn't know that was possible.
Yeah, I guess I was a trailblazer. Like, you didn't say it. Yeah, I guess you're right. I was a bit of a trailblazer.
I didn't know
I don't
we were
know if I was
allowed.
welcome. I might have been like
Yeah.
the weird sticky kid that was just like hovering. And it might have just been a couple times, but
I mean, I wanted to be liked by the girls.
that's what it was. I just wanted the girls.
And I thought the more I'm around them, the less they'll like me.
Oh, interesting. You're mystique.
Yeah.
You need mystique.
Yeah.
Yeah.
My son is
Mystique?
supposedly dating somebody. I don't know.
How old is your son now?
11.
Nice.
He's apparently when I was
11.
gone in New York for a week, there's a girl. I don't know. It's the
You
first
went
we've
to
heard
New
of it.
York for a week,
Yeah.
and your son started dating someone?
Yeah.
What grade is he in?
He's in 5th.
Wow.
He had just had an overnight camp with school. I mean, he won't admit to it, but there's something going on here. I mean, it's,
Yeah.
and I had just had the talk with him.
About sexual intercourse? How'd that go?
It was odd. It went really good in the sense that I think I got it all out.
How did you start it?
That's the problem.
Let me tell you about the birds and the bees and the flowers and the trees. You just put
me
that
tell
song
you
on,
about
and then you just go, and you walk out.
Now, bees, they pollinate, you get into it like
Do
that.
you started with that?
No.
No. What did you start with?
I mean,
That was the problem?
I had made a joke with him a while ago about, those huge skeletons that are like Home Depot?
Yeah.
Yeah.
The people who take Halloween real hard.
Yeah. We were driving by one, and I forgot that he was actually in the passenger seat. I don't know who I was talking to, and I said, I go, what if those had dicks? And then I looked and I realized it was him. And I was like, oh, shit. And
Wait. There's a lot. You're driving, you see the giant skeleton. You sense someone is there.
yeah,
Enough
he
for
hadn't
you.
been sitting in that seat for long. It was a kind of a new thing.
Yeah, okay.
Yeah.
Yes. So you're like, usually Rhodes is in the back.
Yeah.
And now somebody's up front. It's probably safe to say, what if those had dicks? And what did he say?
It was silent for like a minute. And I knew the amount of thinking that was going on.
Yeah.
Because I know that he's probably had boners.
Yeah.
And he probably was like, and
Is
then
this my window?
yeah. And so he said, do penises have bones?
This. Can I just say, it's like a 6-year gap where boys are like, do penises have bones?
Yeah.
It's like a good portion of your life.
Yeah.
Where you're just going, whoever named it a boner, what were you doing? What were you doing?
The thing is, I'm not sure that they don't.
Viagra is a bone extender. I mean, that makes so much more sense
Yeah.
than they swell up with blood.
I mean, what are the things that lobster have?
Yeah.
Thorax?
Like the tail?
They have like a thorax. It's their spine, right? They're.
Oh, I don't know.
What if we had thoraxes? I don't know.
Thoracium cable.
I think there is a type of bone in there.
There's no bone in there, Nick. What did you tell your son?
I said, I don't know.
You did not. You did not say, I don't know.
Because
dicks
I
had
could have sworn
bones-
I'd seen a movie.
No, Nick, you didn't say I don't know. You did?
I said I don't know.
You didn't say I don't know.
Because I've gotten in trouble with saying stuff that I don't know, and I've been
Okay, that's defensible.
Yeah.
But you should know that your dick. You think you.
I'm
wouldn't you have
confused.
gotten a dick X-ray by now if
Can we
your
have the
dick had a
live chat
bone?
kind of get in on this?
Yeah.
No,
Look.
but I saw a movie, a documentary about penises,
Okay.
about a guy that collected penises from like dead animals. Scientifically, this isn't like a guy that's just like finding roadkill. Okay,
He scientifically was interested
this
in all
is
the
all
different kinds of
authorized.
dicks.
Yeah, and he's like in Finland or something, and there's a museum.
I don't know why that checks out, but it does.
There's a penis museum.
Yes.
And there's also this guy that was a real, what do they call guys that are really, you know, it's like it's not like a guy, Lothario?
Lothario. Like he's a, isn't a Lothario like,
Like a swinging
handsome,
dick, like
yeah,
a
swinging
just
dick.
like a gigolo, like
Yeah,
a
yeah,
guy
yeah.
that
Yeah.
pretty much, it's a small country.
Yeah.
And almost all the women have slept with him. I mean, the guy is known for
And he has a
his
dick museum.
penis. No, this is just a guy.
Oh.
And he decided, he let the museum guy like measure it and all this stuff, and they did like tests on it, and then he said, when I die, you can have my penis. And it's in the museum.
And then he looked at a lady and he went, "You can have it before I die."
But before he gets it.
Yeah, but before you get it, it is free
Who's
for
the
quite a
camera
while.
operator over there?
So he said, "You can have my perfect wang after
Yeah.
I die."
Yeah. And I think even towards the end, he was like, maybe I don't want to do that. You know, I think he kind of started to have second thoughts. This is a documentary. But I saw this documentary because I played a penis in a movie.
You played a penis.
Yes, a guy, it's called Bad Johnson is the movie. I shot it. I actually opened up for you while I was shooting it in Chicago.
Oh,
Do you remember
okay.
that forever ago? I was there for like 2 months shooting a movie, and you were doing a spot at the Lincoln Lodge. And I always remember because I was like, your podcast had just kind of gotten big, and like you like all of a sudden you just like, you were like living high on like, I'm selling tickets, man. It
High
was
on the
like,
hog.
it was cool.
I remember that. Yeah, this
And
is
I remember
coming back.
like opening for you being like, this is cool.
Yeah.
This is really cool.
No, that was a golden time.
Yeah.
Yeah. When it was very fresh and new that anybody would come to see
That
me. and I
anyone
was very
cared.
excited.
Yeah.
it
And they
was
knew
very
about
sweet.
you. And they like,
Yeah.
I remember afterwards people were like, you know, asking you questions about your like
Yeah.
things. And,
Yeah,
I was
yeah.
like, how do they know that stuff? And you're
Yeah,
like, well,
yeah.
I talk on my podcast. I'm like,
Yeah.
oh.
Yeah, I don't want to say. It seems to me that there was this golden time when there were only a few podcasts, and I feel like because of that, we had probably more fans. I don't know if that's true, but it seems like we had more fans, and there was just more novelty to the whole experience. Like that was when we were saying like laser accuracy and not feeling it, and all of these "fuck you forever." We had all these catchphrases and T-shirts, and it was like had a real culture to it. I kind of miss it. I
Yeah.
just don't have as much time to till those fields.
I mean, I remember even then thinking, oh, it's too late to start one.
Well, when I started it, people said that too, but I know what you mean.
Yeah,
I know
but
what
you were
mean.
like right in, you did it at the perfect
I did it at
time.
the perfect time, it turns out.
And then the pandemic hit, and I thought, oh, it's too late to start one.
Yeah.
Even on the way here, I thought, it's too late to start one.
I mean, yeah, go on though. You opened for me, you played a dick.
Oh, yeah,
Dick
but I played a
museum,
penis in the
and
music.
there's no bone in it.
Well, they
I'll say
took me
when
to a
you-
movie, and I feel like they brought up in the movie that there actually is a bone.
I'm going to need Katie to Google this because this is misinformation and this is not Facebook. Katie, open it incognito. We don't need this in here. You don't need that
You think
in here.
incognito saves
Yeah,
you?
yeah, you don't think so?
No
I think
way.
incognito is the only contract that the internet honors.
Oh, really?
Dead serious. Like, I think they're like, look, we'll do anything and everything. We'll spy on you. We'll listen to you. Watch
We're
every
not gonna
activity.
step over this line.
But that's the one. I really think that.
Okay.
And don't take it from me. There's no bone in the human penis.
Is that on Wikipedia?
Bonepedia? Dickopedia.
I believe that.
Dickopedia was right there. I said Bonepedia. There's no bone because I remember reading the book What's Happening to My Body. That's what it's called. What's Happening to My Body. Great title, by the way.
I have that book.
Well, read it, Nick, because it says There's a picture and it points to an erect penis and it says, not a bone.
No bone.
Dude, if you had a bone in your wiener, people would be cracking all 10 and then they'd give themselves a little, of course. Do you know how good that would feel? It would be like something you do when you're coming. You'd be like, and now. Like,
Chiropractors are getting in there.
Yeah, they tug it. And when you tug it, you'd hear it crack every once in a while.
God. I just saw a dog chiropractor. You ever seen those videos?
What?
Yeah. It's deep into TikTok. You can see a pit bull get adjusted.
And do they love it?
Oh, God. It seems like heaven for them.
Really?
Yeah.
I'll say I started doing something called trauma release exercises or tension release. It goes, the T can stand for apparently whatever you want.
Thune? Yeah.
Thune release exercises. That's what your ex-girlfriends do. They have to do these special exercises to forget the magic of the man.
Real quickly, can we put it in here where it looks like I knew there wasn't a bone on a penis?
Yeah, we can make that work.
Okay.
Yeah. We'll just have to re-record the whole beginning, including like you have to trip and I have to say like, you got to watch where you're going.
Yeah.
You go, I don't look down when I walk.
It's beneath me.
I think you said it seems beneath
Oh,
me.
yeah, okay.
Or is it beneath me? I don't know.
I don't know. I know that the second that I saw it, I thought, you got something here. You know that feeling?
Good. Oh,
I want to hear about this trauma release.
No.
I want to know, but I actually am interested in it.
I will tell you, but there is nothing better in the world. And one of the things I love about Valerie of the millions flirt, that's a flirt, is she knows when I'm considering if something's a bit and she'll give me a moment. Mm-hmm. We just had one, you tell me, we're having dinner. I would have to set it up with like, sometimes I just don't know what to say. It's one of those, like, I just don't know what to say. And I was a little bit stoned, but barely. So I want to leave that out when I say that on stage because it kind of makes it a different category of like dumb things you say when you're stoned. And I don't think it was because I was stoned. But she was saying like, we're looking at the skyline. She's like, I'm optimistic. Look at what human beings do. AI is coming, but like we always find a way to persevere. We make skyscrapers and cities. Like we're so creative and adaptive. Like look at that. And I swear this is what I said. I wasn't joking either. I went, yeah, it's like if we didn't interrupt the beavers, they'd build casinos. And we laughed for about 45 minutes. And then I went, and she's like, you're thinking about whether or not, I still don't know if it'll make it on the stage.
I know but the thing is, it's really easy to get
something.
into. I think that should make it on stage.
It's because I go, sometimes you just say something and you're just like, where did that even come from?
No, it's talking about AI, like talking about fear of like things being overtaken and maybe the things that we've interrupted already that we didn't even know about.
See, you understand what I was trying to say.
Yeah.
There is a slight logic to what I'm saying. She's saying
there is.
We've got to keep moving. And if we stopped distracting the beavers and talking about these dams that they've made, they'd make casinos.
I mean, who knows?
I'm actually, as I say it to you, I'm like, I don't think that's going to make the transplant.
No.
It was funny to us.
I had a funny to us thing with my girlfriend where she has these two small white dogs.
Double brag.
And can I say, and we were at a field, we were like alone.
Triple brag.
And we look across the field and somebody else shows up with two small white dogs. And I look over at them and I go, your dogs right now are looking over there wondering, is that us?
It's very funny.
And we just laughed forever. And I thought there's no way to take that anywhere.
Yeah.
Is that us?
Is that us? The hardest we've ever laughed. Sometimes we talk about the hardest we've ever laughed on the show. And when people turn it back around on me, I remember we're staying at the Bowery Hotel, which is important. I don't know why it's important. It's like kind of like a nicer hotel.
Yeah, I like
in
that
New York.
hotel. You get the little bear and
the key.
Yeah.
They give you a little key.
Leave it at the front.
Yeah. So we're in the Bowery, and I walked in. I was walking out of the bathroom, and my pants were down at my ankles, but I was wearing underwear. And I was being very silly. Please drink that. And I was like, and I go to Val, I go, do something that's never been done. Do something that's never been done before. That's what I said. And I tried to spin around. I swear, Nick, I hit my head on a lamp, and then I tripped on my pants and fell onto the bed, luckily. But I did like classic, like real life slapstick. I go, do something that's never been done. Hit my head, spin, fall, trip. Then Val laughed so hard she farted, and then we laughed.
Yeah.
We laughed more than a human's ever laughed, and it was out of nowhere. Comedy, you're like, I'm gonna go laugh. Funny movie, I'm gonna go laugh. Sometimes a guy just comes out of the bathroom, spins, trips, hits his head, and then your girlfriend
Creates a fart.
Farts.
Yeah.
Like an involuntary. She doesn't want this fart to come out.
There's like videos on YouTube that's like maybe one or two that have captured moments like that, where there's like a.
They're beautiful.
Oh God! And have you ever found yourself just crying, like laughing at the?
You mean crying emotionally?
No, like laughing so hard.
I actually
because
think
that is a cry laugh situation.
Somebody just brought up to me, who was it? We've been doing a lot of podcasts lately, but maybe Kate. I don't know. You don't. Oh, it was Russell Howard, maybe. Anyway, we were talking about Jeremiah. We were talking about Gerard Carmichael and how what he does and all of the like pausing and the introspection and the like life sharing stuff. When you ask him about it, he says, "I'm trying to save stand-up comedy." What do you remember? Sorry, I thought you were turning. Because he's trying to do something like, if you want to laugh, Instagram Reels or TikTok sort of is the quickest way just to laugh.
Yeah.
I'm not saying it's the highest art form or something, but the first time I did it, I was scrolling and crying, laughing. I couldn't believe it. I was like, I'm a comedian. 5 seconds later, this thing's figured out what I like, and it's only showing me what I like. I love these videos where it's somebody with like enormous ears and it just reads the comments, but it sings them like an epic choir. Have you ever seen that?
No.
It's like talking about your dream. Nobody knows what the fuck you're talking about. But I'm dying, and now it just shows me those over and over.
People
and
singing
over.
comments.
Mean comments about people's physicality. So it's kind of mean.
God, yeah, it sounds great.
I am scream laughing. And then I'm like, so Gerard is right. We, as artists, we need to make stand-up something other than just we're here to make you laugh. It has to have some sort of nurturing or inspiring or comforting quality, because just laughs, you can't beat Dog Chiropractor.
No, but I want to so bad. Because I have a bit that really kind of redid me recently, where I was having that thing. Am I ever going to have an idea again? You know, if you ever have that thought where you're like, where do those even come from? And
yeah.
And David Lynch died, and
maybe he was my ideas.
Yeah. And there they go. But all the interviews of him started popping up, and you know, and he talks about ideas in this one interview about how he gets them and nurtures them, and like he describes it as like an idea being in like a room that you really can't get into, but you can see into every now and again.
Oh wow.
And then it's almost like, you know, I'm paraphrasing it a lot here and maybe taking my own what I took from it there.
Yeah.
But to me,
putting a bone in a dick. It's
yeah. To me, it seems like he's saying you can only see it, you can't go in and get it, and then you have to take it and nurture it and build the idea off what you thought you saw.
Wow.
You know, and that same day, I thought, okay, I'm gonna really see something today and take it and nurture it. And it was this most simple thing at the grocery store. I saw a woman in front of me, her stuff was getting rung up, and tortilla chips came out of her thing. I didn't see any of her other groceries. And I thought to myself, I bet Salsa's coming pretty soon. I love it. And then Salsa never came. And then I just went down this rabbit hole where I was leaving a voice note to myself in my car about what would have happened if Salsa didn't come. It didn't come, but what would have happened if she realized it and decided to make a dash for Salsa?
Yeah.
And we're all in line. And so I kind of
That's great.
came up with this
That's
whole
very
thing.
Thune. If I had thought of that, I'd be like, oh, that's like a Nick Thune joke. Because it's like a low stake, high stake situation.
Yeah.
Have you ever darted out of the line? See, I would say, have you ever darted out of the line? You would go, I saw a lady, Salsa's coming soon. She forgot it. Then she runs out. But the tension is there. It's like a backflip story. It's like like we need
Exactly.
tension.
That's what I saw there. And then 3 weeks later, I did it on The Tonight Show. It was like that quick of a bit. And then 2 days after that, I came up with a better close, which is when you do a bit that early on something, it's still good, but like... But
you trade off perfection for some of that freshness. Maybe it was better as a fresh.
Yeah.
Maybe fresh was better than closure.
But you know, when you get the fresh, it's like I remember hitting the voice note thing, and I started to kind of tell the story, and I was standing in line. There were 3 women ahead of me, and they all had one thing in common. I was right behind him. Like in the moment of getting that inspiration, I just am talking in the way that I like to write. And it really
suddenly I'm not trying to be sexual here. Like you're wet. Like it's as different being dry or being wet. Or you could say you're lit up. Instead of being dark, you're lit up. I know exactly what you're talking about. Something will push you into your voice, I guess you're saying. Mm-hmm. I completely understand what you're saying. And sometimes there's just windows, there's pockets where you're like, oh my God, Funny Pete is here. Usually I have to conjure him up, but he got pulled out of me by seeing something.
And in the moments when Funny Pete or Funny Nick's not there, to observe what Funny Pete or Nick had done in a bird's eye kind of point of view can sometimes also order it. Like it's funny. It's like two of you kind of together working.
No, it's true. It's the conscious mind organizes, the unconscious mind creates. And I think Steve Martin said the unconscious mind creates and the conscious mind edits. And I think that's correct. That's why it's actually Seinfeld's analogy of the transplant. I know it's funny that I said if we didn't interrupt the Beavers, they would make casinos because we laughed at it. But then Seinfeld's analogy is like, can we transplant the organ? Like when a body rejects an organ, it's because it took too long to get there. It like turned, like the liver in the cooler turned. And I'm like, I don't think we can get there. Or he also has the chasm one. Like it's too far to ask them to jump. Like, and sometimes the crowd falls in the chasm between my idea and what I'm planting in their brain. It just doesn't get there. But that's really fun. You did it that quickly too. Wow.
That quickly. Yeah, I have a bit too that I've been like, it's funny, like you wonder if you do something long enough, it'll fit in.
Yeah. Yeah.
And there is something
What's the bit?
Well, it's about trying to create. It's about trying to create a say, like what it means to create a saying, like two birds, one stone.
Yeah. And
it all started with a bird died at our house. It hit the window, and I have like a whole thing about that, and then we'd bury the bird in our neighbor's backyard because it's the best part of our backyard to do it, I think. And that's kind of like all these kind of great parts coming up to it. And then it's us, me and my son, trying to implement better than a dead bird in a backyard as a two birds, one stone type of a thing. Dead bird in a backyard. And I mean, it's like, it gets laughs and it's there, kind of.
It's really tricky.
It is. It's a long walk.
Somebody a while ago, I forget their name, forgive me, but they somehow got in touch with me to help them write a joke, like a street joke that would become a joke everyone tells. I was like, people don't really do jokes anymore. Like if you really want to permeate the culture, they ended up not taking this advice. You need something like think of a mug that says, I think you're on mute. Like that's a joke that actually went viral. Like everybody like gets that and thinks that's funny. You actually kind of need to make like a maxim like that would fill a gap. But like, what is better than a bird in a backyard?
Dead bird. That's the thing. Well, the bit is that we don't even know what it means. Like the bit is like we see our neighbor and we're like, hey, have you tried that burger down the street? And he's like, no, have you? And I go, what am I, a dead bird in a backyard? Yeah, I tried it. And then, 3 days later, nice day out, huh? Yeah, thank God I'm not a dead bird in a backyard. And like that's kind of the road that I'm trying to go down with it. Where we are just trying to get our neighbor to re-say this saying as if he thinks it's a saying.
Yes.
And then in the end, he does. He comes home from work and he looks tired. And I say, how you doing, man? He says, honestly, I feel like a dead bird in a backyard.
Yeah.
And I go, that's crazy. For a year, I've been trying to tell you, we buried a dead bird in your backyard. And that's kind of the ending.
That's very funny.
It doesn't, like it's not there.
I know what you mean.
And sometimes it works.
Like I wouldn't be surprised.
And those are the times when people are like really into me and they're we want to hear every aside that you've got for every joke.
No, and a beaver, if we stopped interrupting the beavers that make casinos, would work for certain crowds. And then, are you touring?
On and off.
On and off. Mm-hmm. Who books that? I'm just kidding. Anna Knopf books
on and
that.
Off. Not enough. Not enough is what I was trying to say.
Not enough.
Yeah.
Not enough.
No.
But on and off.
But on
books
and
the
off.
on and off tour. This episode is brought to us by our friends at Apollo Neuro. That's what this is. You probably see me wearing this little piece of wearable technology in every episode of this podcast because I never take my Apollo off. That's not entirely true. My daughter recently took my Apollo off and she lost it, and I didn't have it for 3 days, and I couldn't believe what a difference I noticed in my life. My sleep took a nosedive. I was waking up in the night. My anxiety, my calmness, my overall sense of well-being. It's true. Apollo sends sub-perceptual, meaning you can have it on a very low setting, which is what I do, vibrations directly into your nervous system, speaking to your body in its own language, in a language that it can understand, that makes it feel safe, held, and in control. And what I mean when I say it's true that it works. This is not woo-woo. This is made by a board-certified psychiatrist and I want to get this right, a neuroscientist. Got to get the right kind of science in there. Apollo Neuro is a wearable that helps your body recover from stress by sending those vibrations into your nervous system, helping you sleep, focus, relax, and be more productive. It's worn on the wrist, like me, or the ankle, like Val. Apollo Neuro is like finding the fuse box for your body with the emotions, with settings like energy and wake up, social and open, clear and focused, joy, rebuild and recover, calm, unwind, and fall asleep. As I mentioned, I turn it on to fall asleep, but then it automatically reruns the program while I'm asleep to keep me asleep. It's a chemical-free sleep aid. It is incredible. It is a game changer, and Apollo's effects on stress, sleep, cognitive performance, and recovery has been proven in multiple clinical trials and real-world studies. And you can get $40 off at apolloneuro.com/weird and use promo code WEIRD. That's APOLLONEURO.com/weird. Use promo code WEIRD for $40 off. Also, this show is sponsored by BetterHelp. Let's talk numbers. Traditional in-person therapy can cost anywhere from $100, the copy says, to $250. Ha! Ha! Try $350. In LA? What are you, nuts? Goes way up beyond that, and that adds up fast. But with BetterHelp Online Therapy, you can save, on average, up to 50% per session. With BetterHelp, you pay a flat fee for weekly sessions, saving you big on costs and time. Therapy, we're big believers in therapy on the show. Obviously, it should feel accessible, not like a luxury. And with online therapy, you can get quality care at a price that makes sense and can help you with anything from anxiety, boundaries, relationships, and everyday stress. Believe me, your mental health is worth it, and now it's within reach. Therapy is the greater than the sum of its parts. It has helped me so dramatically set up healthy boundaries with my family, get out of toxic relationships, friendships, work situations. It is a game changer, so give yourself the gift of therapy. It couldn't be easier with BetterHelp. With over 30,000 therapists, BetterHelp is the world's largest online therapy platform, having served over 5 million people globally, and it's convenient. You can join a session with the click of a button, helping you fit therapy into your busy life. Plus, you can switch therapists at any time. Your well-being is worth it. Visit betterhelp.com/weirdo today to get 10% off your first month. That's betterhelp, HELP.com/weirdo. But when I tour, it's actually, I think it's beautifully humbling because I'm not exclusively theaters by any means. I do a lot of cities where it's clubs, so it's like 5 shows. And then you do like a late Friday and you're up there going like, it's Beavers make casinos, and it's just like the harshest, like it.
Oh, God.
You just realize you need to have.
That is a dark feeling.
It's good. Like, I'm with you. But look, I've said this a million, like stand-up is writing with consequences, meaning if you're just writing a book, who fucking cares if your little joke stinks? No one knows but you.
Yeah.
But that's why it stinks. Stand-up, you get hit in the face enough times, you cut the joke, Beavers make casinos. And there is a certain loss there, but like there's also something kind of gain as you're just getting stronger and faster.
That late Friday night feeling when you do that joke and you're like, and you can actually see yourself from them and you think, I wouldn't want to hear this either.
Yeah, that's actually what's happening.
Like,
is you're borrowing.
Oh my God, I get you guys.
That's actually my favorite save line is I'm like, you're right.
Yeah.
Like that one was not worthy of you.
Yeah.
But then when you get them going, and sometimes, what's been happening lately? It's almost like the word is out that Late Friday is the worst show. And now I've been having a lot of great Late Fridays and week early Saturdays.
Nate and I were talking. Nate Bargatze and I were talking, and we decided that Fridays are the new Saturdays.
Really?
Yeah.
Tell me everything.
We just noticed. We were like, I opened for him at like Irvine for a weekend. He was trying out new stuff, and it was really fun. And obviously, his crowds are always good, kind of no matter what. But the Friday shows just go better.
Yeah.
And I've been noticing that on my own, like,
It's what I just said
weekends.
to you.
Yeah.
And you know what? Here's my theory. I wonder if you guys had a theory. My theory is Saturday they expect it to be good. Friday they're surprised that it's good. But Saturday's like, it's Saturday.
Yeah. 8 o'clock Saturday, the sweet spot.
Yeah.
Yeah.
You know my favorite? Sunday.
Oh,
If
yeah.
there's a Sunday or a Thursday,
Thursdays are my favorite.
it's always my favorite.
Those are the
I'd
most
rather do a
dedicated,
Thursday.
kind of like, we want to see this show.
We want to see this show.
Yeah.
Saturday, we've uncovered it. We've solved it. Saturday, they were at the fucking Cold Stone Creamery.
Yep.
And the show wasn't sold out. And that's fine. I'm glad. Thank you for coming. But it has a different sizzle than like, we want to be here on Thursday.
Or it was planned to be there. They were like, yeah. And then Saturday, they didn't have anything to do all day. So all day they're thinking, show tonight. We're going to that show. That's going to be the end of our day. That'll probably be the best part of our day.
Yeah.
Whereas Friday, they're like, God, I just want to get through work.
Yeah, they had something else on their mind.
And then work's over and they're like, oh, wait.
they built it up too much.
Surprise.
They built it up too much.
Yeah.
What do you do during the day when you're touring? I'm a 0. I do 0.
I do a lot of art. Like, I paint a lot.
On the road.
Yeah.
You bring your painting supplies?
Not like oil, like I've got an easel or something,
Yeah.
but just like all different types of like I'll bring like canvas paper and oil pastel stuff.
Oh,
and
okay.
do that, and then I'll like hang it up in my room.
No.
Yeah.
Really?
Just like tape it on the wall and just kind of
What
create.
is this, an indie movie?
I mean, I want to make one for sure, but I do it because I
And
used
by
to,
the
I
end of
used
the
to be a
weekend, the
nothing.
whole thing's room?
No, by the end of the weekend, I have like 5 or 6 cool pieces
That's
that
what I mean. Like by the end, you're like, I've made something beautiful.
Yeah, and it kind of walks away, and it's like I have some cool. Sometimes I'll even like make a map of the city as I know it from since I've been there. Like
It's great fun.
yeah.
Here's the Chipotle.
But it's better for me than watching stuff.
Yeah.
I started doing that and reading.
Oh, yeah, me too. We're the exact same age, you and I.
Yeah.
So we're probably having similar trajectories. I've talked about it a million, but on the old Pete Holmes show, we did a monologue that I'm still so proud of. It's called Have a Morning. And it's such an old guy monologue. It's like, don't sleep in, get up and have a morning. And I'm like, that's my middle age creeping in. I was probably like 30, but I was like, that is how I feel now on the road. Don't sleep till 1 o'clock. That used to be what I would try to do.
Yeah.
Get up, find great espresso, read, and you paint. I mean, that's you've next leveled me.
Well, also, like if I have something at 9 a.m. here at home, I'm not going to get up at 8 or 8:30. I'm going to get up at 6:30 or 7 because now I realize like if I'm going to be somewhere and I want to be myself,
Yeah, you need time to become yourself.
I need to become me.
You also, I'm welcome to middle age chat. It's so true though, and it was true in our 20s as well. We just didn't know it.
Yeah, we had no idea.
We're just old men now thinking we know better, but I think it's true. If you have a thing at 9, I couldn't feel more strongly about this. I'm lit up right now. And you get up at 8:30. That 9 a.m. thing just made you its bitch. You know what I'm saying?
Oh, yeah.
It's like it said, fuck you, and you got smacked in the face by it because you let it set the tone for your day. You let it be your first taste. It dominated you.
Yeah.
But if you get up at 6:30 and have your day, that 9 a.m. is no longer the turning point of your day. It's just one of the things you did because you're the master of your own ship.
Yep.
You know what I'm saying?
Oh, believe me.
I believe you do.
I believe both of us on that. And also, I'm going to say this. Getting up, if you do get up early, if you do get up with time and you go to your phone, that is like input. Like you're taking stuff in.
You've just become a receptacle instead of a vessel.
Exactly.
Like a seafaring vessel.
Yeah.
Like a fucking through an iceberg.
And I do it. I still make the mistake.
I'm going to say my phone, I'm proud of this. I won't look at it for a long time. Sometimes it bites you in the butt, but almost certainly won't. You'll be fine. I'll look at it before. So I drove here for this podcast. I'll check. Did Katie text? Did Nick cancel? because that's worth looking at my communique device.
Yeah.
But the people, I was just talking to somebody and it almost broke my heart. He was like, I get up really early. And I was like, all right, this is my kind of guy. Because the morning is like stolen time. It's second night. If you get up early enough, second night.
Yeah.
But nobody's awake. It's a heist.
Except like the people that are like 4 a.m.
The 4 a.m. is a little much. What
Yeah.
are you, a Puritan?
Yeah.
You waking up to dig up the radishes?
It's like Mark Wahlberg stuff.
I don't need that. And I don't believe it either. Get the fuck out of here. But anyway, that he probably does mean it. Who cares? But I'm saying like second night, where was I going? What were we saying? How did I lose it?
Second night.
Yes.
Oh, the morning's your second
he's
night.
like, I was like, this is a second night guy. He understands the thrill of the morning heist. And he goes, I get up,
The morning heist.
I do my Wordle. And I'm like, dude, look, if Wordle was like a by hand game that you did by candlelight, I'd be like, yeah, get the brain going. But if you're looking at your infinite news, communication, update, fucking time wasting device to play your brain game, I wouldn't trust myself to do that. It's like going to McDonald's and getting a salad. Like, you're not going to do it. You're going to smell the fries. Next thing you're on TikTok watching a pit bull get a chiropractic massage. Became Dennis Miller for some reason.
That was good.
Next thing you know, you're on TikTok watching a pit bull get a chiropractic massage.
I love watching Dennis Miller and Norm Macdonald together. I don't know if you've ever watched those moments, but it's a really, because he just obviously loves Norm so much and gets him on such a level that he really
loads him up,
feeds him, and it's really fun.
That's super fun. I think they're doing a Norm documentary that I'm excited about.
I mean, I would hope.
I hope so too.
I mean, I have a tweet that I look back on
Fondly.
that was like, YouTube just sent me an email saying there's no more Norm Macdonald material. And this is way before he died. It was just like, stop searching. You're not going to find anything else.
That's
Like, because you've
hilarious.
seen it all.
You've seen it all. We're sorry. It's
Yeah.
like a new 404 page. 404,
Hey,
a file
man.
not found.
You hit it.
You've seen all of it.
Yeah, you hit the
That's
bottom.
interesting. I feel a little excluded. I say this for fun from Norm, meaning there are some people, great people, brilliant people. They're not all one kind of person. But some people see Norm and they're like, this is everything. I see Norm and I go, this is great. I don't go, this is everything. But there's a lot of people.
I would
that
be on
say,
the this is everything
This is
side.
everything. I know. And I actually feel excluded because I see the excluded, meaning I envy the fervor, because it's all people I love.
Yeah.
Like they're all people that I respect and enjoy. You told me to name check you every time. You told me about Valley Heat, which is the world's greatest podcast. Are you on it?
No,
I always think I hear your voice.
I wish.
I mean,
What's
you could do
happening?
it.
Yeah.
You could do
It's
it.
so good. No, I mean, the amount of people I've turned onto that is like, I should be getting at least some sort of.
You should be getting a royalty.
Yeah.
You told me about it at Largo, and I owe you everything.
Yeah, you listened that night. You remember you
I
texted me when
listened
you got
that
home. You were
night.
like,
It's the greatest thing ever.
Yeah.
But what brought it to mind about Norm, there's some things that are just pure. And if there's something pure, like Norm is pure, Norm is doing his thing, I want in on it. And if I can't quite access it just for some reason, I know I'm missing out on something really, really special. Maybe we should just give it another try. But Valley Heat is one of those things.
there's a Norm video that a lot of people haven't seen, that a lot of people have seen, but he had a sponsor for his podcast called The Man Grate. You ever hear about The Man Grate?
No.
Then you'd love this. So his only sponsor was The Man Grate.
I can't handle this.
And eventually they said, stop talking about us. They pulled their sponsorship because he was making such a big thing out of the Man Grate. And there's a super cut on YouTube of just Man Grate and him and the guests. And it's a cry. You're laughing so hard.
Really?
And it's when you get the part of Norm that's like making fun of the fact that this is the only thing that's on his podcast, but then also taking it seriously to the point of like wanting to get it out there. And anyway,
Can I ask what a Man Grate is?
it's a grilling grate. Which, if you've seen it, you hear me say grilling grate and go, "Oh God!" And he goes, "Have you tried?" They call it a revolution. They go, "Have you heard the revolution?" He goes, "The revolution." It is so. And Andy Dick has one. Like he gives it to Andy Dick, and Andy Dick accidentally throws it on the ground and he goes, "That was yours." Like he's giving him his own man grate. Oh, it's so good.
I guess I do get it.
Yeah.
Maybe it's just one of those things that I love, and I just like classical music. I know it's great. I just don't throw it on.
Or the jokes at the end of his podcast. Did you ever get into that?
No.
At the end of his podcast, he would have the guests read jokes on cards. And it was never admitted, did he write these jokes? Who wrote these jokes?
Yeah.
And he's getting people, Fred Willard, Bob Saget, all these people to say the worst things that are like hilarious.
Yeah.
Obviously written by him. And I think Jim Macdonald, is that? Or Jim Downey.
Okay.
He was the writer at SNL that wrote Weekend Update for Norm. That was like one of the best writers, I think.
And they wrote these, like, they're racist or something?
They're everything.
They're everything.
They're everything.
Yeah.
And they're under the guise of, we don't know who wrote them. You know?
Okay.
And
it's fun. It's very fun. I will say, I guess my intro to Norm was like the long joke that leads to the punchline. And I'm always like, actually, you're helping me uncover that this hesitancy I feel for being all in for Norm goes back to being in high school. I had the same thing for Andy Kaufman, where I was like, if you're lucky enough to be on TV, do it.
yeah.
Like, that's how I felt. I now understand that these are artists, they're doing it differently, but I would be going crazy. Like, why did you, like, I didn't understand. It's like, tell the joke quickly and well. Like, I'm like a conservative.
Why the SNL thing?
No, like when he's on Conan and he's like, yeah, there's a moth and it takes 45 minutes.
Well, the story behind that is kind of amazing as well.
What's that?
That they went to commercial and they were like, we have 7 minutes left. And Norm was like, okay. And he basically took a joke that, who told it to him? Somebody we know told it to him. It's the stupidest short joke.
Yeah.
And turned it into a 7-minute Russian novel.
Yeah.
Like all the characters and the names and all the stuff, and just on the fly.
Wow.
And
on the
so,
Moth.
Yeah. And it's so dumb on the fly.
It
on
is
the Moth.
super dumb. That was super dumb too. But like the joke is something like, why do you come in? Oh, he goes to
'cause
the
the light was on.
doctor.
Yeah.
And he's like, is there something wrong with you? He's like, no. What about this? No. Then why'd you come in? Because the light was on.
But in it,
Yeah.
the parts that he adds, I looked in the mirror and I saw the same face that my father had, and you know, he's like going so deep into this father-son relationship, and his wife. I turn over and see her in bed, and I don't even recognize her anymore, Doc. You know, he's doing all of this stuff. It's just so
I mean, it's great.
There's certain things like there's something that you and I did that makes me laugh every time. But there's two things that we did. One thing that we did that never really got out. It was like out. John Doerr made it. Remember that short film we made with Nathan Fielder in Montreal?
Yeah.
Where we were all like in a barn.
Was that a short film?
Yeah, it was a short. It was like a short for an HBO Canada series.
Yeah.
It's on Vimeo.
Oh, okay.
And I've
never
tried
seen,
to
I
like
don't think I've
post
ever
it
seen
before because I think it's so good.
Yeah.
It's really funny. You're super funny in it.
I've never seen it.
And we're all trying to convince each other like we can't go out to get wood or look for help. Anyway, it's really, really funny. But the other thing that we made.
How do people find it? It's on Vimeo?
I think it's on Vimeo.
Out.
John Doerr.
Out.
Nick Thune.
Pete Holmes, Out.
I don't know if it's out. Is it out?
Oh, I thought you said it was called Out.
No, I don't know what it's called.
Okay.
Well, but people will find it if they're good enough.
If they're worthy.
It's like one of those cachet things, or I don't know, what are those things around town that are like secret little things that people find?
Pokemon?
It's kind of like that, but it's like people are like, anyways. The other bit that we did was us on mushrooms.
Yeah.
That clip of you and me, sometimes I watch that and it just makes me laugh because we are laughing so hard.
We're so free.
Yeah.
I tell that story all the time because people want to know if I've had a bad mushroom trip, and that actually was. I still remember how you looked. It was the worst situation. We won't do. I'm sure you did it. We were on in 2019. I'm sure we told the whole story, but like, I was with you, who I knew fairly well. I mean,
no. This was we did this on your TV show.
Yeah. No, I know. No, I'm aware that, and there was like a video of it and everything, but like, anyway, the setting wasn't right, and I remember you looked like Christian Bale and the Machinist. Like you started turning into like an emaciated dead person. It was rough.
Well, we took mushrooms two different ways.
You and I?
Yeah.
What do you mean?
Well, you chopped it up in peanut butter, right?
Yeah.
And then you just took a big...
I just ate them.
Yeah. And I just kind of took a quarter of it. Like, I'm just going to take this slowly as we go.
Oh.
And that's a problem. You don't do that. I didn't know at the time. You're supposed to just do what everyone else is doing, I think. So that way you guys
you're on the same page.
You're in it. Yeah.
Yeah. I remember you left and went to the store.
I went to 7-Eleven to get you
bananas.
Yeah. And then I had to leave my car there because that's when it really hit me.
I don't remember that detail.
I drove to 7-Eleven. Wasn't too far away. It was about a mile.
Yeah.
And when I was in there, I was like, oh, I can't drive back.
Whoa. And you walked back?
Yeah. I left my car. Yeah. We did a lot of We did a lot of swimming and walking.
And walking. I remember it feels like a different life, but I knew I had Xanax. And Harris Whittles, our beloved Harris, told me that if you're taking mushrooms and you're having a bad time, to take a Xanax. So I poured the pills out into my hand. This is all legal prescribed stuff. But there were also Ambien in there and like maybe some other supplements. Like I was just using this bottle as a catch-all. And I poured them in my hand. And it was this hand. And the hand looked like a football field. It was like a Ren and Stimpy, like a and I was like trying to pick up like the claw game, which one of these is a Xanax. It was pure horror. It sounds funny now.
Are you sure you got the Xanax?
I got it, yeah. I definitely did. I made sure. But it was one of those, I did mushrooms recently, and every time I do them since then, I've been like, please don't do that. Because what that was it kicked in immediately and went from 0 to 100 very fast. But the last time I took them, it was a tea, and I was sipping it slowly over 30 minutes.
You're also in more control of your mind now. Like at that point,
that we were babies.
We also didn't know. Like it seemed like a hit and miss sort of a thing. Like it could be good or bad. We don't know. Yeah. Whereas like now we're like, I think I can handle. Also, I mean, I don't do it anymore. But.
No, I'm with you. I mean, I do still do it occasionally, but like I think the difference between me now and me then, one of the main differences is I have about, and this isn't cockiness. I can still get very overwhelmed. In life or in mushrooms, who knows? But like I have about 75 pretty great coping strategies. And when I was that age, I had none.
And all those 75.
Yeah.
Right? And I get that because I do like, do you always remember to do them?
No. In fact, I never remembered to do them. And then I remembered to do them and then they work. But every time, just to share one of them, I think the most powerful coping strategy for so many different situations is to say yes, thank you, is to act like you like what's happening. Not even act like it, but like really try to step into a place where you're like, this is what's happening and I'm with it and I'm grateful for it. I'm not saying that would have pulled me out of that bad trip necessarily, but it wouldn't have hurt. Certainly wouldn't have hurt. But that works for like a bad mood or a bad situation, a delayed flight, traffic. And I always forget. And then when I go, yes, thank you, it always helps.
It's so funny. Like the coping mechanism, like for me, like when I did the Tonight Show recently, every time I do that.
One of your 9 times?
I don't know, it's a lot. Leno and stuff, but that doesn't mean anything. It just, I don't know what it means. But
we call this chair the Leno because it's all denim.
Oh, that's nice. But I finally realized what I listened to Toto, Rosanna.
Yeah.
About 10 minutes before I go on every time.
Before you go on stage?
Before I do the Tonight Show.
Oh, before you go on the Tonight Show. Yeah, okay.
Because I know that song is going to loosen me up. It's silly. It's so fun. Yeah. And like, it's like, I have a great time. Yeah.
It's like, that song is kind of like sneaking in a funny way.
There's like 6 different songs in that song.
I agree. But let be too far away.
Yeah.
That horn fill. Oh. I can't even sing it.
And then it hits that.
I'd play it, but YouTube would fucking flag us.
Yeah.
Couldn't play
They might
it.
flag us for how on you were with the horns.
Be too far away. Great choice, by the way. I have certain songs like that. The Childish Gambino, Sweatpants. I love that song. That really makes me feel happy. Oh, Chance the Rapper, Hot Shower. These are like my go-to. Like, it's gonna make you feel happy.
Piece of My Heart by Irma Franklin.
Not Cher?
No, Irma Franklin is the first one to do it, and Janis Joplin did it.
Oh, Janis Joplin is who I was
But
thinking.
Irma Franklin was Aretha Franklin's sister. And it's a song I come out on stage to. To me, it is the loosest. There's a line in it when you're out on the street looking good, and you know deep down in your heart that ain't right.
What?
I love that line.
What does she even mean?
That she's talking about the scoundrel of a guy that's like taking every piece of her heart and like throwing it away. And this guy's just out on the town looking good, trying to.
Yeah.
And he knows it's not right.
He's cheating.
Yeah, he's just out there. And it's like, I love that idea of just being out looking good.
But no, it ain't right.
This isn't good.
This isn't good. No, you're right. You're right on.
And then the end of it, you know you got it if it makes you feel good. To me, that lyric is like, yeah, that's good.
That you have like a North Star.
Yeah.
Like we do. I would just, so Harlan Williams, we don't often do 2 episodes in a day, but when I do, it's Dos Equis. But he just did the pod, and we were talking about how there's something, like intuition is such an undervalued thing. And it's true. You know you got it when it makes you feel good. There's a certain attunement that you feel. Like it like one of my, anyway, Rupert Spira, who I love very much, is like, teaches non-duality. And it's like, he's all about experience. It's like, we should go to our experience. That's the first thing we should go to. And people often ask him, well, all we really know is our own experience. So why aren't we solipsists? Why don't we believe that it's just us? We're the only real consciousness. Everybody else is our dream or Truman Show, or, you know, it's a figment of our imagination, but we're real. And he goes, because when I act that way, the world doesn't reward me with peace and happiness. It's like, you go ahead, treat the world like you're the only real thing. It doesn't work. It doesn't line up. You know you don't got it because it doesn't make you feel good. And then when you treat people like we're all having a shared experience, it does feel good. It does reward you. It like, it's like circumstantial evidence. Like, oh, I think I'm onto something. It feels good.
I had an Uber driver this week in Cincinnati who I was mad at before he picked me up.
Why?
Because I ordered him the day before, and then he was like 20 minutes late, and this was at like 5 a.m. to get to the airport, you know? And it was like I was frustrated.
Yeah.
And then I got in the car and immediately decided before I said anything, who cares?
I like this. That's your yes, thank you.
Yeah. And I just sat there, and then ended up, this guy, he's older. He's just got over cancer. He's doing this to pay for his medical bills. It's like,
wow.
What if I would have gotten in angry at a guy that is driving me to the airport to pay his medical bills for cancer?
Right. And you made your flight, I'm assuming.
Yeah.
All worked out. Even if you didn't, but I'm just saying, like, ease up.
Yeah.
Be compassionate.
Did he break the rules? Yes.
Yeah.
Uber promised me. They said, we got you,
Well,
man.
he let you down.
He did. But also, it wasn't his fault either. He even said, he's like, I'm sorry I'm late. Uber, they don't know. They let me take another ride, but they didn't know that I was going to have to help the guy with his groceries, which was going to put me back, you know.
Wow. This guy's being sweet in 12 different ways.
Yeah. And he's a vet.
All right, folks, let's talk about gut health. Because if you're like me, you've had those moments. You eat a big meal, you're feeling good, then shapow. You're bloated, sluggish, and wondering why your pants suddenly don't love you. I've been there, and I've thought, okay, maybe I need a detox. Maybe I need to cut out everything fun. But then I found something that actually works. Pique's PU'ER tea. I always say it weird because I want you to remember. PU'ER. P-U-'ER. PU'ER tea. I'm not kidding when I tell you this stuff changes the game. I start my mornings with green PU'ER. I gotta tell you, it's like flipping a switch. I get this calm, focused energy that doesn't come with all the caffeine jitters or that dreaded afternoon crash. And after meals, black PU'ER is my go-to. It is smooth, earthy, and leaves me feeling light and balanced instead of like I just swallowed a brick or licked a car battery. drinking too much caffeine. But here's the kicker. PU'ER tea isn't just tea, it's fermented, which means it's loaded with living probiotics and prebiotics that actually support your gut health, which is an amazing thing for your entire body. It's like a reset button for your microbiome, and the science backs it up. The antioxidants from this tea help with digestion, energy, metabolism, even radiant skin. And yes, this is tea that makes you glow. Who knew? Let's talk about quality, because not all tea is created equal. PU'ER tea is wild harvested, it's triple toxin screened, and dissolves instantly in hot or cold water, making it such an easy and pleasurable process to make instant gut healing magic fast and easy. Now, because you listen to this podcast, PIQUE is hooking you up with 20% off for life. Yes, for life, plus a free rechargeable frother and glass beaker when you grab their PU'ER bundle. This is an exclusive offer just for weirdos, and PIQUE backs it up with a 90-day money-back guarantee, so you can try it risk-free. Go to piquelife.com/weird to grab yours now. That's piquelife.com/weird. Your gut and your energy will thank you. How did you get to this wonderful new special, which is called Nick Thune, Here I Am, Shoes and All?
Born young. Here I am, shoes and all. You were searching for the title, and then you saw my shoes.
You saw me see them.
Yeah.
Here I am, shoes and all. Born young.
Born young.
It's a wonderful new special, Born Young, which I love. You did something that I actually considered doing in my special, which is these kind of like jump cuts, or
Yeah.
you do stylized cuts, which I thought was really cool. But apart from that, it's a wonderful set and awesome. How did you get with Nate to do that? Like, how did that come about?
Well, Nate is just generous, and he has gained, he's worked his ass off and now has this crazy fan, he ever since I've known him, he's been touring like an animal, nonstop, and really building and building and building. And now he wants to share, the stuff that he likes with the people that like him, which I think is such a great thing. Like he was like, I just want to put your special out for my audience to see it, buddy. Like I just want, and I was like, that's great.
Did he put it on his page as well?
Yeah.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
Oh, wow. That's awesome. That's incredible, man. Good
It's a cool, it's he's just generous, which I think anybody in his position, all the guys like that are kind of making it, I think are doing that for people that they know and they like,
I'm glad that that's sort of the standard.
Yeah.
Like Bill Burr produced my last special, and I wouldn't have gotten on Netflix without him.
That's amazing.
So, yeah, that's exactly what it is. So
Yeah.
That's really sweet, man. I'm glad to hear that.
Yeah.
I like Nate Muchas.
Yeah. He's funny, like that's the thing about it is like.
Isn't that great?
Yeah.
And what's it like opening? What's that crowd like?
Nuts. They're so good. Because of the clean aspect, which, my special is clean because that's part of the deal for him putting it out, which is great for me.
He only does clean special?
Yeah. And his act is totally clean. And the audience, because of that, is from, you see 12-year-old kids in the audience, not a lot, but you see some, up to grandparents.
Yeah.
Like multi-generational families coming together to see Nate.
Yeah.
And all of them liking it for different reasons, for different, whatever.
Yeah.
And these people are just rooting on anybody that Nate is like, hey, see my friend,
Wow.
And plus, it's like...
Does he introduce you?
No. No, he goes on at the end.
No, I just mean voice of God.
No. But I think it's good. I think they're so excited to see him,
Yeah.
But also, it's like once you get up, you're like, hey, I'm still not Nate, but Nick here.
Hilarious.
But
close. And 3 letters.
It's pretty insane, to like when you get to the point in a comedy club where they're like, let's add a show. That's cool. But when you get to the point in an arena where they're like, let's add a show.
Yeah.
They're adding a 3 p.m. show in an arena.
Wow.
And then they're bringing out blowers to get the 7 o'clock show ready. Like they're walking down aisles with blowers.
Wait, what does that mean? I don't understand.
Like leaf blowers. Cleaning out the aisles between the 3 o'clock and the 7 o'clock in an arena.
To clean it rapidly.
Yeah.
Whoa.
Yeah.
That's amazing. I'm curious why, I think it's a great decision, but I'd like to understand the reasoning for a 30-minute special. Is that just how YouTube is going?
Well, just because I have a lot of material that, I had like maybe 2 hours of material, and Nate was like, I want it to be clean. I want it to be for my audience, all this stuff. And I thought, what a great way to just like make an EP. Like when a band is like, this isn't a full album, this is an EP.
Yeah.
And also with the idea that, does it matter anymore?
Well, that's what I anticipate. I think it's very interesting what your first part, and then I was anticipating you were going to say the second part. Well, Fitzsimmons just put out a YouTube, and he was like, I wish I had done 230s. And I'm editing my special right now. I don't know where it's going to land.
Yeah.
And I'm like, should I do 230s? I don't know. It seems to be algorithmically sound.
Well, you put it out and people see it there, or you put it on clips in your thing and people see it there. I mean, my manager's assistant, this guy is like, saved me as far as like social media goes, because he just is on me. He's like, you got to post a joke. And I'm like, oh my God, man.
Yeah.
And his name's Steven. He's great. Little shout out for Steven. But he, one time he called me, he's like, hey, put up an old joke.
Yeah.
Just post one from like forever ago. He's like, doesn't matter anymore. You can post a same joke every month if you want. And it's going to get a new field of views. And this isn't saying this is me on stage you're watching and paying for. It's like, here's a free thing that I'm just trying to get out.
Yeah. You should use my guy. Shout out to Jake.
Jake
Rowert. He does my social media as a couple other guys, a couple other people, and he's incredible. And he's a lot less. I don't want to drag anybody. I used a company some of the big guys we know. And Jake is way better and like half as much. You should definitely use him.
Well, I just do it my own.
Yeah. Do you like that? How's that working?
It's hard.
Yeah, you hate it. Use Jake.
No, but I've learned a lot, and it's gotten easier.
Okay.
And I would like to pay it out, but I'd rather have my son play on like a club soccer team than me like have a...
I see. I mean, now you didn't have to embarrass me.
Well, no, you probably have more money than me. That's probably the nice thing is that you've had a TV show and everything, whereas I'm like...
You've hit me twice in very sensitive spots. I love my son and you have more money, fuckface.
No, I want it. I don't care. I mean, I wish that I cared more about money. I think a lot of people in my life have said that to me. Like,
tell me.
I wish you cared more about money.
It's just not...
The only reason I think about it is I know that someday whatever I have collected will be his.
Yeah.
So I should try and get as much for him as possible.
Yeah.
But as the time goes, it's like, I love being home. Yeah. What's the best way to be home and live? And, that he can play soccer and we can do things. And I don't know. It's not like I'm noble or anything. It's just, I never learned about money growing up. And so I was pretty bad with it until I made it.
Yeah.
And bad, like I didn't do taxes for 5 or 6 years.
Oh, wow.
And then owed like $60,000 to the government. Because I just was claiming exempt.
You just checked it with absolutely no authority to do that.
Yeah, because I heard someone be like, hey, if you just do exempt, they won't take any taxes out. And I was like, oh, that's cool. Bone and a penis? No problem.
We were both thinking about bone and a penis. My bone and a penis was, if you're not home, who's going to teach your son that there's a bone in your penis? I think that, I just want you to know I'm so with you. It's a huge sticking point is like, our kids are growing up. We got to be around. And that's really important to me as well. So I also think it's really beautiful. That's why, well, this is dumb, but like I fly coach and in my mind, I'm like, yeah, I'd rather I'm 6'6", you're tall too.
Yeah.
I'd rather deal with that pain. And it literally at my age is pain to like have Leela X, Y, or Z.
But you're also going to get upgraded.
Sometimes.
But I've always been the same way. It's like anytime that I've flown first class and I've landed, I've been like, I could have done that, coach.
Yes, it's true.
It wouldn't have been
that bad.
It would have looked cool.
Yeah.
Oh, look at this cool big guy back here doesn't care about coach. No one thinks that.
That's what I found is I actually thought I went through a big stint of flying first, and then when I went and coach, I was like, what are people gonna think? Nobody gives a fucking shit, dude. Mm-mm. Like, what are you talking about? Like you just said it. I thought people might be like, wow, man of the people. No, nobody's thinking about you.
Everyone's just thinking, God, I hope I don't have to sit next to that big guy.
Yeah, exactly. That looks like a seatbelt extender right there.
I had a real airplane interaction where I got on
an AI. That's what AI is, right? Airplane interaction.
It's like, wait, when airplane interaction.
I don't know why there's all this buzz about AI.
You know what's new in AI is a guy that was sitting in my seat.
Oh,
yeah,
this happens.
White guy, dreadlocks. Face tattoos. I'm not getting into all the things with
this
that.
This guy's post Malone.
Yeah. And he's sitting, Gold's Gym shirt, and he's sitting in my seat, which is a window.
I was going to ask.
And there was a skinny guy sitting next to him. And then the middle seat in the front row ahead of that was a bigger guy. And I go, hey, sorry. And he was asleep already. We're boarding the flight. And I go,
he knew he was up to something.
Can you wake that guy up? So this guy wakes him up and I go, hey, you're in 10F. And he goes, oh, is this 10F? Oh, I guess I thought it was 9F. And I go, well, it's not. Like, I'm not going to let you leave silence for me to say, I'll take 9F. Because now, the way that you're doing this, I'm not into the way that you're doing this.
I don't like the way you're doing this. Fake sleep. Strike one.
Yeah, and then he goes, I was already asleep. And I turned, and there's people sitting in chairs, and I hate that, and everybody cheered. But I look over at these people, and they were just like, yeah. And I just was like, I go, yeah, sorry, man, I'm 10F. I'd rather play by the rules.
And?
He got up, and he went to 10. He went to 9F.
And sat next to a really big guy. That's what he was trying to avoid?
Yes. And then, but the best part, this was the real kick in it.
I was already asleep, he said.
I love doing this. I love getting it off a plane and having Starbucks waiting for me with the mobile app.
I mean, look, they're not a sponsor, but I'm way with you. We're living the same life.
Yeah. I want to walk by Starbucks and grab it.
Oh, I love it. I don't know why more people aren't stealing those, by the way.
No.
They're just sitting there.
It's just there.
It's just there, and they're waiting for someone to literally come up and just take it.
Yeah. Well,
you don't even have to say
what if this guy would have taken mine? But he was.
Oh, I'm sorry. I thought I was Nick.
I thought I was 10F Nick.
I was already drinking it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But he's ahead of me. He's 9F, so he gets off first, and we're both walking to Starbucks, and I see him walk into the line that's not good. It's not a good line. And I walked, and I made sure that he saw as I grabbed mine off the thing and walked out. And I was just like, that's
how you do it.
That's winning.
Is it because we're both 45, but I don't think there's anything as sweet as ordering a Starbucks on the plane.
Yeah.
And you're looking for your gate, and you're like,
or in TSA.
Nick, we're having the same experience.
I like the idea of, I shot a video. I was like, one time I was like, what if you walked up and you're like, hey, listen, I don't have a flight, but I do have a Starbucks waiting for me over at,
They're like, okay.
You can go in.
You ever do it on the wrong one? I've been at Burbank and I ordered what I thought was the Starbucks, but it was the one across the street. And I'm like, somebody just got a free cortado.
Yeah. Oh, you get a cortado?
Ever since I figured out you could get a latte with less milk, that's all I've ever wanted.
I just started doing that.
Cortado?
That's my second drink of the day.
What's your first drink?
A red eye.
That's coffee with an espresso in it? Mm-hmm. That's serious, bro. That's sober living right there.
Feels good.
Yeah. That's a sober living.
I quit nicotine too.
I know. You didn't have to tell me that. If you're drinking a red eye, tell me the 4 things you quit over the past 10 years. Like you're off something.
Yeah.
You're off
He
something.
made it down the hill and now he's trying to get back up in a way that seems odd.
Nicotine, I'm also off. I've been off for over a year. And I used to kind of flap my gums a lot on this podcast about how it was benign and it was good and it fights off Alzheimer's. I was like, it also makes you deeply chemically dependent on something that if you don't have, you become a complete piece of shit and you're miserable.
Yeah.
And that dependency is not benign. It's like a fucking real fucking thing.
I got the norovirus.
Tell me.
I know norovirus. The stomach flu, basically.
And it keeps coming back.
It was just intense for weeks.
Yeah.
And I just, for 3 days, didn't have any nicotine. And I thought, I'm going to ride this out.
Ride it out.
But one of the things, the bonus that I realized is that since I was 14, I've had nicotine of some kind, cigarettes, chewing tobacco, into Zyn, whatever. There's always another thing, my wallet, my keys, my phone,
buddy,
my nicotine.
That's what I just said. I mean, I'm hard agreeing with you. It's another fucking thing. You need this other thing. That is not.
But just pockets, though. Like even just the pocket
space alone. Yeah. It stung. The times I had been in my car and realized I didn't have nicotine and had to go back. That's not chill.
Pull into a new place.
That's not Zen. Is not a sin.
That's not Zen.
Zen is not Zen. How about that?
It's not.
It's not chill.
Yep.
It's another. I love coffee, but you can get coffee anywhere. Guess what? They don't sell at airports.
Zen.
Nicotine. They don't.
They
sell
used
it.
to.
They don't. I mean, I didn't know that, but I
used
know
to
that
sell
they
chew.
don't. The number one place you want nicotine gum is getting on a 12-hour flight. They don't sell it.
Oh, you did the gum.
I did the gum. I love the gum.
I thought about
Lucy had 6 milligram gum.
Oh, Lucy. I've had the Lucy snus things or whatever.
Those are fucking intense too, man.
Yeah, they
I
make
used
a
to
weird
rip through
milligram of those. They make like 12.
That's what I used to do on the pouches, and that would rip into you. That's addict stuff too. I'm saying that as an addict.
I mean, I just did 2s and 6s, you know. Like,
2s and 6s, but a 12. I mean, it's just too much.
No.
It's just too much. I'm glad you're off it.
Yeah.
I did on a lark too. I was on a Rupert Spira retreat, and those things are like rehab. Mm-hmm. And I was like, all you do is meditate and chill. And I was
no
like,
talking or something? Or
there's
one of
some
those?
talks and quite Q&As and stuff. But I was like, oh, I haven't wanted nicotine. It's because all of my needs were being met. Like addiction has so much to do with your life. Like you've probably heard me say this a million, but like they did 2 studies with 2 sets of rats. Both had access to heroin. And the community of rats that had nothing to do other than heroin all did heroin all day. You know, there's food and stuff and they could have sex. But like the ones that had like rat utopia, where there was toys and areas and community and all this stuff, none of them, like it was like 2% of them did heroin. And they saw the link between having your needs met, social needs, exercise needs, whatever it might be, would get them off. They didn't see the need for it.
I wonder what that 2%, if that was like the...
Those dudes that was the motley crew of the rats.
That's just how they were born.
They fucking loved it.
They're like, that's like the me of rats.
Yeah, some people are just those rats.
Yeah.
You're the rats. Are you still Sobe Noodles?
Oh, yeah.
Okay, good. What if you weren't?
Nope.
You ever see somebody that you know is sober drinking at a bar and you're like...
I mean, I've been that guy. I've had to transition before.
Well, let me tell you, everyone hates it.
Oh,
It's the worst feeling.
when I did relapse, my last 16 years ago when I started drinking again, I remember I relapsed alone in Vegas, and then I came back and was like, oh, how do I tell everyone? So I was like, I was thinking about trying drinking again.
Like it didn't already happen.
Yeah. So everyone's like, really? You're thinking about it? I'm like, yeah, maybe get a margarita tonight. I don't know, probably just one.
Yikes.
Yeah.
I remember, with full respect, right before Giraldo died, that the line was usually like, just beer and wine. Just beer and wine. That was like, look, these are real diseases, so there's no flaw in his character. That's just like a way of saying like,
that's
this
what he
thing's
said,
got
just
me
beer
again.
and wine.
That's what I heard. But that's kind of like a classic. Like, I'm not going to do the hard stuff. And
I remember
like,
that I filled in for him that weekend at a club. Like it was like,
the weekend he died?
the weekend after he died.
Oh, wow.
The club he was doing, which was the Portland Helium, I think.
Oh, wow. Wow. He was so great.
Yeah.
He was so funny.
I remember I watched him once. I did a college gig with him. I think Dan Levy was there and Zach Galifianakis. It was like in Florida or North Carolina or something.
Wow.
And Greg was going last. It went Dan, me, Zach, Greg. And Zach was murdering. And I remember watching Greg backstage and he was like, why am I even fucking here? Like he was just like, I don't want to follow this.
Yeah.
It's too good. It's doing too good.
Yeah.
Not like anything except just like I am worthless compared to what's happening right now.
I don't want to praise that
And then he went out
mentality,
and killed.
he murdered. I don't want to praise that mentality, but it makes me feel seen. I've never been chill backstage. I think it's an attribute of greatness to be very uncomfortable watching someone else on a stage you're about to be on murdering.
Oh yeah.
And if you are just like gracious about it, there's a certain something missing in what you do. If you're just kind of like, wow, good for him. Like, I bet the funniest people are the ones that are just like, God damn it.
Well, I have the feeling I had it this weekend. My opener was doing really well. And I thought for a second, I was like, oh God, because he only has to do 20. Now I got to do an hour. It's harder.
Hot 20.
But then I thought, this is good for business.
Yeah, if
I had to make myself get there.
Yes.
Good for business.
If it's Matt who does the show with me, Matt McCarthy is wonderful, I'll be like, this crowd's hot, it's amazing. But if I'm like co-headlining with Zach, I don't know. There's something about the situation you set up that made me know I would be really uncomfortable with that too.
Oh yeah, that was scary.
That's a tricky one. That's actually what it is.
The Greg Giraldo one. But that was also a college that at that point would never go anywhere past that room, you know?
Yeah.
Whereas like now anything can go anywhere.
Yeah.
You know?
True. That's true. So we're almost out of time. We have about 12 minutes left. Where are you on the meaning of life? We've had similar trajectories. And where's Thunesies now?
On the meaning of life.
What I mean by that, let me be
Yeah.
more clear. What I'm looking for is like, is there a God in your sobriety or in your life? Is there, when we die, is it over? Is there a meaning? Do you have any framework or story or narrative or tradition tied to the miracle of consciousness?
I believe in God.
He just doesn't believe in me. Like it sounded like your comedy.
He's
voice,
unaware
so
of me
I
so
was
far.
ready. I was ready. He was what?
He's unaware of me at this point, I think. I really do. And especially once you have a kid and you want it to be real, you know? I mean, sometimes I wonder what the difference between believing and just wanting to believe. And if they are actually different, you know, like, because through Alcoholics Anonymous, which I really am so grateful for, and I love that there's just a room of people I can go sit with and be like,
Yeah.
I'm not alone.
Yeah.
You know, I wish everyone had that for themselves, which could, you know, unfortunately was what church was. You know,
I was going to say, AA is, it's funny, Richard Rohr wrote a book called Swimming Underwater. I always mention this, but I loved it. And he talks about how AA is what the church is supposed to be.
Yeah.
Because church is AA minus the brokenness. So it's just like posturing that you're okay. Whereas
Yeah.
AA is just, I've been shattered, I've been humbled and broken, and here I am, and I need help, and I need.
That's the problem with the church is when somebody says I am shattered and they go, ooh, we kind of,
Of course.
you know, like if it's a
I remember
pastor,
when
you can't show weakness.
No, it's pageantry, and not all churches, but mine certainly was.
Mm-hmm.
When my first wife obviously left me, I'm at church and I'm like, isn't this supposed to be where I get help? This guy who I really love, his name is Charles, who's like a associate pastor at the church. He just admitted it. He goes, unfortunately, the church isn't really good with disgrace and pain, and he's like, we do much. He meant it as an apology.
Yeah.
He's like, we need to work on this. Like, let me help you. But it was like, they're much better at like, we're okay, things are good, and let's be nice people. So yeah, I hear you.
Yeah. And I mean, I have so many thoughts about church. Just, you know, the frustration of, I feel like this weekend there was somebody in the audience that was very Christian, like a pastor. I just got the feeling, this guy. And I was talking about telling my son about sex. And the reason is because somebody had told me that their older son had seen porn, probably told their younger son, who's friends with my son. And so I should probably talk to my son. Like, I want to talk to him about porn before a friend at school does, if it hasn't already happened, you know?
Yeah.
And I'm talking about this on stage, and I could just see the disapproval from this guy that I just was convinced was a pastor. And I'm like, are you, like, I haven't said one swear word my whole set.
Yeah.
I'm talking about wanting to tell my son about something that is dangerous for somebody that doesn't know what it is.
Yeah.
That is and you are just saying, you can't talk about that. This is untalkable. And it's like, that's what I don't.
Yeah. You're in my most sensitive spot.
Yeah.
I'm like, when did loving God become denying reality, denying everything read the Bible, man. It's filled with doubt and pain. And I'm not even defending the Bible. I'm just saying, if that's where you're coming from,
Yeah.
we're talking about a very human story about every human feeling. We're talking about can I talk about Bathsheba and a king sending the guy that had sex with a woman to the front line so he would be murdered? Like, there's a million, human gritty things in it. And again, Richard Rohr, we've turned it into the religion of being polite, being nice, and not being a dirty, wicked boy. And I'm like, I can't handle that.
I mean, I got shamed, and I know I don't blame my parents for it, but I wasn't allowed to go to sex ed. Like, they wouldn't sign the paper that said, we are aware that our son's going to learn about safe sex and all this stuff. So I had to go to the library.
Chlamydia.
Yeah. I mean, seriously.
Yeah.
Seriously.
Yeah.
So I had to go to the library and miss out on that.
Yeah.
You know? I'll
Yeah.
never know what the teacher did with that banana that I saw in there. But I have some ideas.
Let me tell you, it's not what you wanted. Go ahead.
No, but the shame that I felt from that, and then when I got caught masturbating, which wasn't like in the act, it was just like they found out that I was reading this verse to me that was I don't even know where it is in the Bible. I always say Leviticus, but it's like
Onan.
As the gardener was on his way to the garden, he accidentally spilt some of his seed on the path, and he was ashamed.
It's actually Onan. I can't stand the Onan example. It's Christians or whoever grasping at straws trying to find something in the Bible that says don't masturbate. And what it actually is that Onan's brother died. I can't believe I know this. Died in battle. And the law of the time was that if you have a brother and that brother is to give you a son.
Hand job.
A hand job. He's to White Lotus you. No. If a guy dies in battle and he has a brother, it's that brother's duty to impregnate the widow. So that's as close as we can get to continuing his bloodline. And that brother was named Onan. And Onan, before he would climax, would pull out and spill his seed. It's not a gardener. The line is spill his seed, meaning he'd come on the ground or whatever, and not impregnate the woman. So it's not about masturbation at all. It's just as best we could do to be like, see, it says don't jerk off.
But he was having sex for pleasure.
He wasn't obliging his duty to give his dead brother a son. It's way, it couldn't be more far afield from jerking off.
Yeah.
He was pulling out and not impregnating her. Like, come on, guys.
Yeah.
The sins, so-called sins of the body, pooping, coming, all of that
Pooping's
stuff.
a sin?
Well, I just mean like we have such body shame that those become the hot sins. And it couldn't be less vital to the narrative, I would say.
And I would hate for my son to grow up with any fear of any of that, you know? And I did, and I think, it made me who I am or whatever, but I would like to avoid that. And the idea of trying to work out on stage, the idea of trying to avoid that and people being like...
Yeah, no, I can't. I'm going to apologize on behalf of who knows who, but I'm sorry you went through that because I can't stand it. It really bugs me. And for what it's worth, I'm like, ultimate reality is as involved in you talking to your son about pornography as it is involved in praying in a cathedral. It saturates everything and everyone, and it's a beautiful and fine thing.
Out of that conversation with him, at the end, I go, anything in there that you related to? I mean, this is like going from armpit hair to filming sex, puberty to sex. Yeah. And he goes, Morningwood. Which was just an aside that I made at some point. Like, sometimes you wake up in the morning, it's called Morningwood.
Or, in Britain, Morning Glory.
Oh.
Yeah. What's the story, Morning Glory?
No.
That's true. It's about getting boners in the morning.
That song?
I don't know if that's what that song is about. But that's...
Because I was like, Oasis was on another level, to be honest.
It's a low level, but it's like a diving board.
Yeah.
Nick Thune, I could talk to you for 9 years. I have to go.
Great.
And you also have to
I think I'll tag along.
You have to leave this area as well. We're going to lock this area
Yeah, I'll
up.
tag along with you, no problem.
Tell people, in closing, what your voicemail greeting says, please. This is a joke from the special. It's so funny. You need to watch it. It's called Nick Thune, Here I Am, Shoes and All. It's called Born Young. And do you mind? I just thought it was such a funny voicemail greeting.
Call my phone, and it says, hey, it's Nick. Give me a call back when you get this. And it really hits the spot. I mean, it's never done me wrong.
It's great. And for the next 45 minutes, they're confused as to who called who.
Yeah.
It's great. Would you say thank you? Everybody check out the special. Nick Thune, obviously one of the funniest people alive. Would you say keep it crispy? It's your third Keep It Crispy.
I genuinely hope that everyone keeps it crispy.
Nice. I loved it. I love you.
Yeah, I love you too.
Thanks for being here. I liked it.
You made it weird. You made it weird.